Hi everyone and welcome back to this weekly update. Basically got these 3D printed parts back on Wednesday and could finally start integrating these parts on the stick, checking them to see if all the electronics fit and stuff like that. So that was quite good. The tolerances are never 100% on these kinds of things, so a little bit of modifications are of course needed, but the total impression was quite good. So basically created a ridge also to protect the wires going down there, and it's much bigger than the original ridge that we had. The idea there is to create an ergonomic feeling in the hand that actually conveys the information of where the rudder is going to be at any given time. Because if the stick is round, you don't get that kind of impression. But if you have that ridge on the front, you get more of a feeling of where the rudder is. So that was kind of good. About the potentiometer, we had to do some trials and tests on that before we put it in the stick. So basically just hooked that up and started checking how that worked, and it worked fairly well. But this potentiometer required more power, so we also had to modify some of the electronics in the control box. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was a quick process. We got the potentiometer integrated. We haven't soldered the wires on yet. That's the final thing we have to do now, and then we have a much more direct and secure fly-by-wire system on the rudder. So I feel very confident that this is a good upgrade. It also looks better and feels better in the hand. So when you do these modifications, you try to bring as many things into it as you wanted to in the beginning. So it's always good to expand also on the whole idea. So when the stick was completed, we could actually progress more on the nose gear. So that's kind of a big modification we're doing here, with going from a normal servo control on a nose gear to a warm gear control. So it's a huge upgrade on the nose gear. Basically just making something that's much more rigid, because we're just afraid that things are going to break and get away from us later on down the line. But we also had this item on the list a long time, and that was basically exchanging the small lithium-ion 12-volt battery with this large lead-acid battery. The reason why we want to exchange those is basically because we have a DC-DC converter that converts the 400 volts to 12 volts into this battery, and that converter is pushing some serious current, and we're pretty afraid that small lithium-ion battery would have some issues. So we're just gonna not risk it and put in a bigger and more sturdy battery. So what we had to make is a brand new kind of holder for it, because it has a completely different geometry than the last battery. So always something to do, and in this case we had to make a small carbon holder, and fairly straightforward and simple. Just wrap the whole thing with carbon and glue it to this board. The board was luckily already made, because I knew sometime in the future we'd probably have to change that battery, or some modification might occur. So we had this board already done, and it fits in the bay between the pilot and the passenger. And the final thing was just try get to open the sides a little bit and put a strap through it. So you can see the blue strap there, and that's fixed in neatly. And now we can assemble the whole electronic charging situation with this DC-DC converter and fire that up for the first time, which means we'll have a charge on the 12 volt, which is another small milestone, I guess you could say. So we ended off this week getting into the whole MGL EFIS system, which is very good because it's super flexible and it has a lot of different customizabilities in it. So, but it's not super intuitive. So I felt like I really had to sit down and learn stuff here. So try to upload those into the EFIS later on, and it turned out it would upgrade its software, luckily, but I still haven't really figured out 100% how I get all of those different screens into the physical hardware. But at least I could get all the numbers in, and I could change around the screen, so I'm getting there. But a few more days I probably need to learn this properly. It's extremely flexible, and there's a lot of stuff you can do, so it's exciting. But I'm basically going to leave you with that this week, and looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much for watching.